Now, head of settlement studies at the KNUST, Professor Divine Ahaji, wants clarity in the selection criteria of Ghana's affordable housing scheme. He says there is lack of public awareness on the criteria, and that's not encouraging people to express interest in the facilities. According to Professor Ahaji, the houses have the tendency to fall in the wrong hands if these measures are not put in place. He joins us live with more on this. Prof, thank you very much for your time and agreement to speak with us. How has this concern become that critical at this moment? Hello, Prof. Good morning. If you can hear me, my question is,
I can hear you.
How has this concern become that critical at this moment in time?
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers. And I think, as you know, housing is an asset that requires substantial capital, which affects everybody all over the world. And that is why the issue of affordability is a concern to all governments around the world. And so the issue, as you ask the question, is if you say affordability, why are you saying affordability? It means as a government, you have admitted that there is what we call the full market price for housing, and there's also the social aspect, and in between that is the affordable housing, which does not meet the full market price. So government has admitted that many people cannot meet housing at the full market price. That is why it is coming in with affordable housing, which is supposed to be at a lower rate to the full market price. So once you do that admission, it means the public needs to be aware what the criteria is when you say affordable housing is being implemented. And I think that is the problem, as I said earlier, we have had in this country, because many of the affordable houses that we have built over the years in this country, we are not told what the criteria is, both in the supply side and also at the demand side and the supply side. Yeah, so that's what I can say to your question.
So if that is the case, how do we, or how should government approach all of this, you know?
That's beautiful. So that's why first I mentioned the demand side and the supply side. And you recall just recently, both the Minister for Works and Housing and the President have been hammering on the issue of providing the enabling environment for property developers. Okay, so we assume that there are going to be, for instance, incentives for them to be able to put up affordable housing in terms of infrastructure. So the issue will be, what price is the house going to go to? We have to know. So if you say they should build affordable, the public should know that it is going to be, after they finish, it's going to be sold at this price. And also, within the particular location, because generally, when you are putting a house within a particular location, the expectation is that people who live around the area, you know, if they want to access the facility, they should be able to do it. But sometimes we put up the structure and it has no relation to the people who live around the community. So that's what I'm saying, that the critical thing is, what is the price and what income levels are we targeting? Because once you decide that you want to go for affordable housing, as I said earlier, you have admitted that some people cannot afford. Who are these people and how do they access the, you know? So that is for the demand, the supply side. When it comes to the demand side, that is when people are now ready to go for the affordable housing once it is completed. So even before you start affordable housing, as I said earlier, what income level is critical? For instance, if you own a house already, can you still access the house? We don't know. If you happen to access the house and you want to rent it out, at what rate do you rent it? Is this at the full market price? Or there is an explanation for you to be able to know that once you acquire it, you cannot even rent it at the full market price? Because originally, the reason why you are going for affordable housing is because you want to make sure that people don't buy at the full market price. So how do you allow somebody to rent, to acquire the property and now rent at the full market price? You know, if you are a first-time buyer, somebody who is coming, for instance, our new graduates who are coming out of school, is there anything to assist them to acquire such houses? These are, and many others are all issues that should have been discussed even before the affordable housing takes place. And in most cases, you should even have a list of people who are ready to move into the affordable housing when it is completed. And often we don't have all these things when we start affordable housing in this country. And that is why perhaps we are having all these problems.
But as it stands now, and per your concern, even before some of the houses are put up by the state housing company, I know that sometimes you have to even make a request ahead of time and even start paying. So how do we as a country address that lacuna between your thought of making it affordable and in fact how many people can indeed afford these houses? How should we approach this as a nation?
Yeah, so that is why if we have the target group that the housing is going to, it means right from the start in terms of design and whatever incentives government are going to give, we make sure that the houses, including material use, are targeted towards achieving that. But it looks as if, as it is now, once we say we are going for affordable housing, in terms of even material choice, we don't know what specifications in terms of government priority should go to such houses so that we can achieve the affordable house that we want.
Okay.
So the whole thing comes down to government being able to set down it's a critical thing that needs to be clearly thought of before we even set out that we are putting up affordable house. And I would expect now maybe for the government to come out to tell us clearly when it comes to affordable housing, what are the criteria that are in place? And perhaps there will be the need for public discourse as well for the public to also make their input.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. I'm grateful to you for joining us. That is the head of settlement at the University of Science and Technology there.